Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're testing one of the most brutal games of the year, Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm playing at 1440p, Ultra Settings, using DLSS on Quality Mode. I want to see how the 8GB RTX 4060 Ti performs alongside an i5-11400F. I decided to keep frame generation and ray tracing off to see the pure performance of the card and to have the lowest latency in battle. Unfortunately, I was limited by the 8GB of VRAM, so I left ray tracing and frame generation turned off to keep things fluid. I hope you have a fun and enjoyable viewing. If you like the test, don't forget to subscribe to see future upgrades, as I plan to upgrade to a 16GB graphics card soon. I'm coming from the final Doom, the game of my childhood, and now, in 2026, we're testing the Dark Ages together. The difference is colossal, but the spirit of Doom remains the same. Performance is surprisingly stable. I have a minimum of 62 FPS and a maximum of 69 FPS, and the video card temperature remains excellent, at just 59 degrees Celsius. Notice how useful the shield is here. When you right-click, you not only block attacks, but you're also much more protected while you recover your health. It's a new mechanic that completely changes the way you fight demons, especially when you're cornered and need health quickly. As you can see, movement is vital. I press Shift to run and dodge demon attacks. In this new Doom, sprinting combined with the shield makes you almost unstoppable. Even though I come from the old Final Doom, where you were constantly moving, here the Shift key gives you that speed you need to avoid being surrounded. Now comes my favorite part, the hand-to-hand combat. I beat up enemies using my shield and close quarters strikes to finish them off quickly. It's incredibly satisfying to see how brutal the Slayer is in this medieval setting. Even with so many enemies on screen, my graphics card keeps things stable and lets me enjoy the carnage. There are no enemies left standing. In Doom, the rule is simple: get the enemy count to 0 to move on to the next mission. Here we can also climb walls. This climbing mechanic allows us to explore maps vertically and find secrets or better attack routes. It's impressive how the Slayer moves so easily, despite his heavy armor. Even during these transition moments, the game runs smoothly, with no drop in 54 FPS. Look, there's an imp. I remember him from playing the final Doom. Back then he was just a bunch of pixels throwing fireballs, but now, in the Dark Ages, he looks incredibly detailed and dangerous. It's fascinating to see how these classic monsters have evolved over the decades, while still retaining the identity that made them famous. When the enemy is almost defeated and starts to glow, I press E to execute it. This move is not only spectacular, but it is also vital, as it gives me back my life, health. It is the perfect way for the game to encourage you to always be on the offensive. The more aggressive you are, the longer you survive. Here I am entering a new area and new enemies appear. The fight is getting harder and harder, but it's the perfect time to see how the RTX 4060 Ti handles under maximum stress. Even though the screen is full of explosions and monsters, the FPS remains stable between 54 and 69. I have to be very careful, use the shield and move constantly to survive this new wave. Introducing a new wave of enemies and how you need to adapt your strategy depending on the type of enemies that appear. Hardware performance remains solid even during the busiest moments of combat. I just got a new glove upgrade. They now give me much more strength in close-range attacks and allow me to interact better with my saw shield. It's a crucial upgrade that helps me crush enemies faster and navigate the level using my new climbing abilities. It immediately feels like the Slayer is getting much stronger. I've reached the end of this test. I hope you enjoyed how Doom: The Dark Ages runs on this setup. Thank you all for watching and I hope you have as enjoyable a gaming experience as I did. Don't forget to subscribe to see how the performance will change after I switch to a 16GB video card. Thanks a lot for your support and see you again for the next test. Cheers!